Virgo, I just got back from the most incredible journey into your energy field, and I have to tell you, I am still catching my breath. I am still wiping tears from the corners of my eyes, but this time they are not tears of sorrow or warning or awe at your divinity. They are tears of pure, unadulterated delight. They are the kind of tears that fall when you witness something so unexpectedly beautiful, so perfectly unlikely, so cosmically defiant of every rule and expectation that your heart simply overflows because it does not know what else to do. I have been doing this work for a very long time, and I have seen love stories of every shape, every size, every flavor. I have seen the slow burns and the lightning strikes. I have seen the reunions and the first meetings. I have seen the quiet companionships and the wild, all consuming passions. But what I just witnessed in your aura, Virgo, what I just saw unfolding in the timeline of your heart, made me put my hand over my mouth and gasp out loud. Because it is the kind of love that should not make sense on paper. It is the kind of connection that would make a spreadsheet malfunction. It is the kind of chemistry that laughs in the face of logic, that ignores every checkbox, that tears up the resume of conventional romance and writes a completely new language in its place. Someone has fallen madly, deeply, terrifyingly in love with you, and the thing that was supposed to stop them, the thing that society, that your own mind, that every well-meaning friend and every cynical voice said would be the deal breaker, the insurmountable wall, the reason to walk away before it even began, it meant absolutely nothing. Less than nothing. It became irrelevant the moment their soul recognized yours. I am talking about an age gap, Virgo, a significant one. The kind of age gap that makes people raise their eyebrows and lower their voices. The kind that gets whispered about at family dinners. The kind that fills comment sections with judgment and fills your own head with doubt. And I am here to tell you, with every ounce of spiritual authority I possess, that this age gap did not stop them. It did not slow them down. It did not even register as an obstacle in the part of them that matters most. They fell anyway. They fell hard. They fell completely. And right now, at this very moment, they are falling even deeper. And they do not care who knows it. I need you to sit with that for a second. I need you to let that sink in, past your defenses, past your logic, past the part of your Virgo brain that has already started running the calculations, that has already started listing the complications, the differences in life stages, the potential judgments, the what ifs and the buts, and the practical realities. I need you to silence that part for just a moment and listen to the part of you that feels, because the person I am seeing in your energy, the person who has become absolutely obsessed with the idea of you, with the reality of you, with the miracle of having found you in this vast and messy world, they are not thinking about any of those complications. They are not weighing pros and cons. They are not consulting a committee. They are not asking for permission. They are simply loving you fiercely, desperately, completely. And the age gap that you think would make them hesitate, that you think would make them see you as too young or too old, too inexperienced or too set in your ways, too far ahead or too far behind on the timeline of life, it dissolved like sugar in rain the second they looked into your eyes. They do not see a number when they look at you. They see a universe. They see a home. They see the only person who has ever made them feel like time is not linear, like the calendar is a lie, like the body is just a temporary address for a soul that has known you across centuries. And that is what this is, Virgo. That is what I am seeing so clearly it makes my heart race. This is not a crush. This is not a fling. This is not someone experimenting or rebelling or trying to prove a point. This is a soul recognition so profound that the age of your physical bodies became the least interesting fact about either of you. Let me tell you how this happened, because I can see the moment. I can see the exact second when the switch flipped, when the walls crumbled, when the rule book got thrown out the window and set on fire. It was not a slow realization. It was not a gradual acceptance that grew over time. It was a thunderclap, a moment of such sudden, blinding clarity that this person actually had to physically stop what they were doing and remind themselves to breathe. Maybe it was during a conversation that started casually and suddenly went so deep that the hours disappeared. Maybe it was when you laughed at something they said, and the sound of your laughter hit them in a place they did not know was still alive. Maybe it was when you offered an opinion, a perspective, a piece of wisdom that was so far beyond what they expected from someone your age, or so refreshingly innocent and pure compared to the jaded world they have inhabited, that they felt their entire worldview tilt on its axis. Maybe it was the way you moved through a room with a grace that contradicted every stereotype about your generation or your decade. Maybe it was the way you listened to them, really listened, with an attention so total that they felt truly seen for the first time in years, or maybe ever. Maybe it was the way you challenged them, gently but firmly, on something they thought no one would ever call them out on. Maybe it was the way you cared for a stranger or an animal or a child with a tenderness that made them imagine what it would be like to be on the receiving end of that tenderness every single day. I do not know the exact trigger, Virgo, because it is different for every person who watches this, but I know the result. I know the look on their face when it happened. I know the way their heart started pounding so hard they thought it might crack their ribs. I know the way they had to look away from you because looking directly at you felt like staring into the sun. I know the way they drove home that night, or walked home, or lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, knowing with a certainty that terrified and exhilarated them in equal measure that they were in trouble. The good kind of trouble. The once-in-a-lifetime kind of trouble, the kind of trouble that rewrites a person's entire future in a single evening. And here is what I need you to understand about their reaction to the age gap, because this is where the story gets really beautiful, and this is where your own fears need to be put to rest forever. When they realize how old you are, or how young you are relative to them, when the math finally presented itself, when the difference in years became a fact they could not ignore, they did not feel doubt. They did not feel hesitation. They did not feel that sinking disappointment that comes when you realize something you want is supposed to be off limits. They felt something else entirely. They felt awe. They felt that the universe had played a magnificent joke on them, a joke with a punchline so perfect that all they could do was laugh and surrender. They felt that the age gap was not a mistake, it was a signature. It was proof that this connection was orchestrated by forces much larger than social convention. Because why else would someone from a completely different chapter of life, someone who grew up with different music and different technology and different cultural references, someone who should, by all reasonable measures, be living in a parallel universe with no intersection, why else would that person feel like the missing piece of their soul? It does not make sense, and that is exactly how they know it is real. Because real love, Virgo, the kind that lasts, the kind that transforms, the kind that becomes a legacy. It never makes sense at first. It always looks wrong from the outside. It always violates the expectations. It always arrives in a package that makes people scratch their heads. And this person knows that. They are not naive. They are not ignoring reality. They have lived enough life to know that the things that look perfect on paper are usually the things that fall apart the fastest. The couple with the same age, the same background, the same everything, who look like a match made in demographic heaven, they often have the emptiest connections. They often have the most silent dinners. They often have the most lonely nights side by side in the same bed. But you and this person, you should not fit, you should not click, you should not understand each other the way you do, and yet you do. And that impossible understanding is the evidence that your souls are not bound by time, your souls are bound by truth. And truth does not check ID. I want to talk about what they see in you, because I think it will help you understand why the age gap is not just irrelevant to them, but actually part of what makes you irresistible. If this person is significantly older than you, Virgo, they have been around long enough to become tired. Tired of games, tired of performance, tired of people who say what they think they are supposed to say, who wear what they think they are supposed to wear, who chase what they think they are supposed to want. They have dated people their own age who brought all the right credentials and none of the right energy. They have sat across from dinner dates who checked every box on the outside and felt like strangers on the inside. They have built a life that looks impressive to the world and felt hollow in the quiet moments when no one was watching. And then you walked in and you did not bring the resume. You did not bring the performance. You brought you. You brought a freshness, a curiosity, a way of looking at the world that reminded them why they fell in love with life in the first place. You brought an emotional honesty that they have not encountered in years, maybe decades. You brought a lack of agenda that made them feel safe for the first time in forever. You did not look at them and see their status, their achievements, their age, their wrinkles, their history. You looked at them and saw a person, a soul, a heart. And that gaze, Virgo, that pure, unfiltered, non-transactional gaze, it undid them. It unraveled every defense they had spent half a lifetime building. They realized that being with you made them feel young, not in a foolish way, but in a vital way. You reconnected them to their own aliveness. You reminded them that love is not a business negotiation or a social contract. It is a feeling. It is a frequency. It is two souls recognizing each other and saying yes despite every reason to say no. And they are saying yes. They are saying yes so loudly that the echo is deafening. And if this person is younger than you, Virgo, if you are the one who has lived more years, who has collected more scars, who has built and lost and rebuilt more times than you can count, then what they see in you is something equally devastating to their composure. They see a depth they did not know existed in people. They see a stability that makes the chaos of their own world finally make sense. They see a maturity that is not boring or rigid, but magnetic. They see someone who knows who they are, who does not need to perform, who does not play games, who offers a kind of safety that no one their own age has ever been able to provide. They have been running around with people who match their age but not their soul, people who are still figuring themselves out, still breaking promises, still living in the shallow end of the pool. And then they met you, and they felt the ocean. They felt the pull of something so deep, so vast, so unconditionally present that they knew instantly they could never go back to waiting. You are their harbor, Virgo. You are the place where the storms stop. And the fact that you have more years, more experience, more life under your belt, it does not intimidate them. It comforts them. It excites them. It makes them feel like they have found the one person who can actually see them, guide them, stand beside them without competing with them. They do not feel diminished by your age. They feel elevated by it. They feel chosen by it. They feel like the luckiest person alive because they got to skip the decades of searching and land directly in the arms of someone who already knows how to love properly. But here is the part that is going to make your hands shake. Here is the part that I saw when I pushed deeper into their energy, past the initial infatuation, past the chemistry, past the beautiful surface of this connection. They are not just falling. They have fallen. They are already there. They are already in love with you, madly, the kind of madly that does not negotiate, the kind of madly that does not keep one foot out the door just in case, the kind of madly that looks at the age gap and says, so what? The kind of madly that is already planning a future with you in it. They are thinking about introducing you to the people who matter. They are rehearsing what they will say to the friends who will question it. They are preparing their defenses against the family members who will raise eyebrows. They are already deciding with a fierceness that would startle you if you could see it, that they will choose you over the opinions of everyone else. They are not asking for permission to love you. They are not waiting for society to approve. They have already approved. Their heart has already voted. Their soul has already signed the contract. And the only thing they are waiting for now is a signal from you, a sign that you will not let the age gap stop you either, a sign that you are brave enough to step outside the lines and love them back with the same disregard for convention that they are offering you. I need to talk about the judgment because I know it is what keeps you up at night. I know you have already imagined the whispers, the looks, the questions, the well-meaning but crushing comments from people who think they are protecting you. Are you sure this is a good idea? What do you even talk about? What will people think? What about when you are this age and they are that age? What about children? What about retirement? What about the future? And Virgo, those questions are not invalid. They are real considerations, but they are considerations for the mind. And love does not live in the mind. Love lives in the heart. Love lives in the energy. Love lives in the frequency that hums between two people when the rest of the world falls away. And this person who has fallen so completely for you, they are ready to answer every single one of those questions with their life. They are ready to prove day after day, year after year, that the only thing that matters is how you treat each other, how you see each other, how you grow together. They are ready to stand next to you at every family gathering, every social event, every public space, with their head held high and their hand in yours, daring anyone to challenge the rightness of what you share. And when they do that, when they claim you so publicly and so unapologetically, the whispers will stop. Not because people stop being judgmental, but because your happiness will be so undeniable, so radiant, so clearly authentic that the judgments will start to sound ridiculous even to the people making them. You will become the couple that makes other people believe in the impossible. You will become the walking proof that love is not a demographic, it is a destiny. And let me tell you something about the physical connection, because I know your mind wants to know if this works in the most intimate spaces. I know you worry that the age gap will create a disconnect in passion, in desire, in the way your bodies speak to each other. And Virgo, I am here to tell you that what I see in your combined energy is the opposite of a disconnect. I see a fusion. I see a chemistry so perfectly calibrated that it feels like you were sculpted for each other by the same divine hand. If they are older, they bring a patience, a skill, and attentiveness to your body that no one your own age has ever possessed. They do not rush. They do not perform. They worship. They explore. They take the time to learn you like a sacred text, memorizing every response, every shiver, every sound, with a devotion that comes from knowing how rare you are. And you, in return, bring them a vitality, a responsiveness, a willingness to be fully present that makes them feel like the most powerful, most desired, most alive person on the planet. If they are younger, they bring a hunger, a reverence, an eagerness to please and to learn that makes you feel like the most beautiful, most captivating, most irresistible creature who ever lived. They look at you with eyes that have not yet learned to take anything for granted. They touch you like every inch of you is a discovery. And you, in your maturity, in your confidence, in your deep knowing of who you are, you meet them with a generosity, a patience, a mastery of your own pleasure and theirs that creates an intimacy so profound it transcends the physical and becomes spiritual. The age gap does not create distance in the bedroom. It creates a bridge between experience and wonder, between confidence and discovery, between teaching and learning, between giving and receiving. And every time you cross that bridge, every time your bodies meet in that space where age means nothing and souls mean everything, the bond deepens, the outside world disappears, and all that is left is the truth of your connection. I want you to understand what this person is willing to do, because it is going to shock you. They are willing to rearrange their entire life for you. If they are older and established, they are already thinking about how to make their world flexible enough to include your dreams, your timeline, your needs. They are not expecting you to fit into their pre-built existence like an accessory. They are rebuilding the architecture of their life with a wing designed specifically for you. They are considering moves, changes, sacrifices that they would never have considered for anyone else. If they are younger, they are accelerating their growth in ways that would frighten their peers. They are becoming more serious, more focused, more committed, not because you asked them to, but because being near you makes them want to rise to your level. They are ready to skip the phases of wandering and experimenting because they have found what they were looking for. They are ready to build something solid with you, something lasting, something that proves to every skeptic that age is the least important variable in the equation of love. And they are not doing this out of desperation. They are not doing this out of fantasy. They are doing this because they have never been more certain of anything. Because when they are with you, time stops. When they are with you, the years fall away. When they are with you, they are not older or younger. They are just home. So here is what is required of you, Virgo. Here is what the universe is asking you to do as this love story unfolds. First, you must stop apologizing for this connection. You must stop feeling like you need to explain it, justify it, defend it, or minimize it to make other people comfortable. You do not owe anyone a PowerPoint presentation on why this works. You do not owe anyone the details of your intimate life to prove that the chemistry is real. You do not need to preemptively address every potential criticism by acting smaller than you feel. If this person makes you happy, if this person sees you, if this person loves you in a way that fills the empty places you did not know were empty, then that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything. Second, you must release the fear of the future. I know your Virgo mind wants to map out the next 10, 20, 30 years. I know you want to calculate the risks, the health issues, the life stage differences, the potential for loss. But love is not a spreadsheet. Love is not a retirement plan. Love is a risk every single time, even when the ages match perfectly. People die unexpectedly. People leave. People change. The couple with the perfect age gap and the perfect plan can fall apart tomorrow. And the couple with the impossible age gap can thrive for 50 years. The future is not guaranteed for anyone. The only thing that is guaranteed is this moment, this chance. This person standing in front of you with their heart in their hands, offering you a love that does not care about your birth year or theirs. And your job is not to predict the ending. Your job is to say yes to the beginning. Third, you must let them love you without your usual self-sabotage. I know you, Virgo. I know how you analyze love until it dies. I know how you look for the flaw, the catch, the reason it cannot work, because feeling safe means controlling the outcome. But you cannot control this. This is bigger than you. This is written in the stars, in the Akashic records, in the blueprint of your soul's journey. And the more you try to manage it, micromanage it, or protect yourself from it by finding reasons to push it away, the more you delay the inevitable. The inevitable is that you are going to love them back. You are going to choose them. You are going to build something so beautiful with them that the age gap becomes a footnote in the story of your life, not the headline. So stop fighting it. Stop looking for the exit. Stop testing them to see if they will eventually realize you are too old or too young and leave. They are not leaving. They are staying. They are planting roots so deep that a hurricane could not uproot them. And it is time for you to plant yours too. The world is going to try to make this love story small. The world is going to try to make it scandalous or cute or a phase or a rebellion or a mistake. The world is going to project its own fears onto your relationship because most people have never experienced a love that transcends the physical world. Most people have never felt their soul recognize another soul across the barriers of time and age and expectation. Most people have settled for the safe, the conventional, the approved, and they will resent you for having the courage to reach for the extraordinary. Let them resent you. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. Your love is not for them. Your love is for you. It is a gift from the universe, a rare and precious alignment of souls that happens maybe once in 1,000 lifetimes. And you have been given this gift. This person has been delivered to you or you to them, not by accident, but by design. The age gap is not a bug in the system. It is a feature. It is what makes your story unique. It is what gives your connection its texture, its depth, its richness. It is what will make your memories more vibrant, your conversations more fascinating, your growth more exponential. You are not two people who happen to be born in the same era. You are two souls who found each other across time, and that is a much more romantic origin story than sharing a high school or a graduation year. So when they reach out next, and they will reach out because they cannot stop themselves anymore, when they tell you what they feel, when they look at you with eyes that hold no doubt, when they offer you a love so pure and so certain that it makes your knees weak, you say yes. You do not say, but what will people think? You do not say, but we are so different in age. You do not say, but this is complicated. You say yes. You say, I feel it too. You say, I have been fighting this because I was afraid, but I am done fighting. You say, I see you, I choose you. The years between us are nothing compared to the lifetime I want to spend with you. And then you let them hold you. You let them kiss you. You let them love you in the way they have been dreaming of loving you, the way they have been fantasizing about loving you, the way they have been terrified of loving you because they did not know if you would let them. And when you do, Virgo, when you finally drop the armor and step into this love without reservation, you are going to feel something you have never felt before. You are going to feel time collapse. You are going to feel the past and the future dissolve until there is only this moment, this person, this yes. You are going to feel the age gap not as a distance, but as a bridge you are both standing on, looking at the same horizon, holding hands, knowing that you got here by different paths, but you are exactly where you are meant to be together. This is your love story. Not the one you planned, not the one you expected, not the one that fits neatly into the boxes society prepared for you, but the one that was written for your soul. The one that defies explanation, the one that makes people believe in magic, the one that proves that when two souls are meant to find each other, the universe will move every obstacle, including the illusion of time, to make it happen. And it is happening right now to you, to them, to the we that is being born in this exact moment. If you felt your heart race while hearing these words, if you know exactly who I am talking about, if you have been lying to yourself about why you pull back from this person, if you are ready to stop letting a number on a birth certificate dictate the destiny of your heart, then I need you to claim this love right now. Drop a comment below and write, age is just a number, love is eternal. Let the universe know you are ready. Let your own soul hear you choose the truth over the fear. And if this message found you at the exact moment you needed permission to love without limits, subscribe for more readings that see past the surface and speak directly to what your soul already knows. They are falling for you, madly, deeply, completely, and nothing, not time, not age, not judgment, not fear, is going to stop them. The only question left is whether you will let yourself fall too. I think you will. I think you already are. And I think this is going to be the most beautiful love story you have ever lived. Welcome home, Virgo. They have been waiting for you across the years, and now, finally, you are here.